Hello friends, welcome to my channel or welcome back. I'm going to show you how to create your own DIY raised garden bed right at home. The first few things that you're going to need to create your raised garden bed is lumber. I ended up purchasing pine. That's what I purchased with my first raised garden bed. Pine is definitely not going to hold up as well as cedar would. In a couple years, I'm probably going to have to replace it. And you're going to the store and you're getting your own lumber, you might want to go with cedar if you know you're going to be in your house for many years to come. Some other things you're going to need some 3-inch deck screws. You want to go with deck screws because they're specifically made for the outside, so they're not going to rust or tarnish. Another thing you're going to need, which is really important, is a drill. The drill itself is, I believe, about $175. You also have to consider where you're putting your raised garden bed. I'm going to be putting mine directly on top of grass. Last time that I built my raised garden bed, I ended up actually digging out all of the grass. I don't want to do that again. This time I'm going to do cardboard at the bottom. What that cardboard is going to do is it's going to kill the grass because it's going to be smothering it, and it's biodegradable. So naturally it will break down, and in the meantime it's going to serve as a good layered protectant from weeds getting up into our garden. One of the final things that you'll need is soil. I use a 1/3 ratio of each of these ingredients, including peat moss, perlite, and compost. All right, let's get to building. So here we have our deck screw and our drill bit. Make sure you choose a drill bit that's slightly smaller in diameter than the screw. Then you want to drill pilot holes. The reason for drilling pilot holes is so that the wood does not split. Also, you want to make sure that you're not drilling too close to the edge, as drilling too close to the edge is not going to allow enough support. Another thing to note, make sure before you start you have the correct drill bit for the deck screws. And now I'm just going to do the same exact thing to the remaining corners. Now for the cardboard, I had extra scraps of cardboard, so that made it easy. And all I did was lay it on top of the garden bed to cut it to size. And as you can see, I'm just going to put it directly underneath. And now it's time for the soil. I know I said I do a 1/3 ratio of each of these, but I'm not actually measuring them out, I'm just eyeballing it. You're welcome to measure it out to be exact if you want, but depending on the size of your raised garden bed, you're probably dealing with a lot of soil. For mine, it's just under 12 cubic feet, and to me, it's just too much to measure out. So I'm eyeballing it here, and the guesstimate is usually pretty dead on. Make sure you mix your soil well, and this does take a little while, so for the video's sake, let's speed it up. Okay guys, so that sums up this bed for now. I'm going to move on to the next bed, get that done, so be back in a minute. Okay, so we have our raised garden beds complete. At this point, you can go ahead and transplant, or you can directly go ahead and put some seeds into the garden bed. What I like to do, and what's really great for beginners, is I like to take twine and create square foot sections. So depending on what you're trying to grow, only a certain amount of that plant can go in each square section. For example, a tomato plant, you only want to put 1 tomato plant per square foot section. For onions, you can put up to 9 in a square foot section. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that. So all I'm doing is measuring out 12 inches and then marking it with a pencil. I'm going to go around the entire garden bed and do this.
Once I've finished making the 12-inch marks, I'm going to hammer in the nails where I made the pencil markings. And this is where our twine is going to wrap around.
Now that we've got our grid set up, I'm going to be transplanting a couple of veggies and herbs that I bought when I was at Home Depot. I purchased some items like cucumber, parsley, sweet basil, and I also got some rosemary. And then when I went to my favorite plant nursery that's here in Smyrna Beach, I purchased some more seeds, and I also got some lavender. So I'm really excited to plant that. I just think lavender smells amazing. I got some seeds for to grow some zucchini. I'm going to directly plant that into the veggie garden. I also have my little Jim carrots again. Someone commented on my veggie garden tour that I did and said that carrots are actually better to just directly plant the seeds versus transplanting them. Now that I think about it, it does make sense because carrots are a root vegetable. Let's start doing some planting.
Alright, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.